Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Akuban Nights, where we almost had a regular intro. Almost. Okay. So, you guys have fought a Wyvern on this day. Excuse me.
Bless you.
You only get one.
That's fine. I only need
One
one.
each. It's fine.
So, here you are. You camp out the night in the hills, and I think, yeah, you've already had your encounter for the day. So, nothing else bothers you as you peacefully spend the night with your guard down, sleeping in the open with no cover.
What? Okay, I guess.
Are you trying to say that there's 5 more wyverns coming our way?
I was going to say there's scorpions in all of your boots, but that will work too.
There's a snake in my boot. How bad is the damage on the wagon?
The axle is broken. The front axle is just like split.
So it's absolutely unrepairable for us, right?
I don't know. Are any of you woodworkers, carpenters, wagon drivers? Do any of you have any skills related to wagons or woodworking or construction?
I've got literacy, so if we had a book on wagon repair, I could read it and then have a better chance of repairing the wagon.
Unfortunately, in the whole of the world, no one has written a book on wagon repair. Because books are very difficult to write and copy, and the people who can repair wagons are usually illiterate.
Could I forge myself a book on wagon repair and then read it?
Yes.
No. First of all, set fire to the wagon. Totally got this, yes.
We are about 1 day away from Roxas, right?
That's pretty close.
Yes. Well, we could probably... Oh, could we carry everything on the horses?
Not too much. Could someone get away from Roxas and come back so we can put everything on the other cart?
Or we just travel at a slower pace, right? Is that impossible?
With a broken axle?
Well,
you'd have to
no.
abandon the wagon.
A slower pace on horses that are encumbered is what I'm saying.
Well, if we want to put everything on the horses, I could summon more. They would last 5 days.
Well, how about we do that then?
magically summon horses. Since when have you been able to do this, brother? I mean,
Since
Did you magically summon some attractive... never mind.
Maya.
Let me think. I could probably 4 horses? Would that do? 5? 4 or 5, I think.
Oh, the more the merrier.
And you summon heavy horses so that they can carry more.
I can summon what we have. We have the hair of a warhorse, so I can summon more of those.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Well,
Just try and take it from somewhere on the main that's not obvious, you know?
Of course.
that should work. If 5 more horses, that should be enough to carry everything on the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. In that case, I will summon each of us another horse.
Can you summon them with saddle and everything, or is it just gonna be the horse without anything and it's just gonna run away?
You know, I've not tried this, but the way I understand it,
we can make bridles, right?
it's gonna be just the horse.
Did anyone hear the wolf?
Yes, I heard a wolf. Sure, it'll be fine, don't worry. I'm sure the smell of wyvern blood would probably scare them off.
Probably. What do you think, then?
Thanks, Neal.
Mounts in the morning?
Sure.
Let's build a bonfire tonight as well, I think.
Yes, we can use pieces of the carts for the fire.
Oh,
We don't need the cart anyway.
yes.
All right. You create a fire using the wagon as fuel. and pass the night peacefully and uneventfully. The morning dawns, and it's a beautiful day, minus the stinking, rotting wyvern carcass. It's quite nice out there.
I recover MP.
You get 1 die at disadvantage, or just 1 die at non-advantage, right?
Oh, I would have been in the cart studying, so would that be...
Yeah, your study gets interrupted by the battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1d16 d16 at disadvantage.
I'm gonna check the table, but I think that is night. Good sleep. It's just 1d willpower.
Okay.
No,
so it's
no
good
advantage
sleep.
or disadvantage.
All right. Good.
Ooh,
Good.
very
Fantastic. That's quite a bit of mana back.
That should be all of it.
Wow.
I only used a 3rd level and 2nd level and 2 first. So that's not very much.
Okay.
Just in
And,
case it's important, can we quickly figure out how many horses we really need? So how much weight we are transporting on a wagon?
well, what did the wagon hold for you?
Oh, that is on my character. That is on my sheet, isn't it? Quartermaster sheet. This is not in weight though. It had a shit ton of water and a shit ton of rations.
Okay. Fantastic. So water and
100
food.
Rations, 160 water, which is a barrel full.
Well, water, as long as you are near a source of water, like a river, like this, you won't need to carry your own water because you can refill on a daily rate. If you are traveling in areas that don't have water, you'll either need to make some sort of survivalist skill check, or you'll need to carry some with you. As for food, you're gonna need that no matter what.
Yep.
means one day just empty the water barrel and just take the empty barrel, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're emptying the water barrel and taking the empty barrel with you.
Yeah, and just taking the food that we need to get to Roxas.
Out of curiosity, why are you taking an empty water barrel with you?
Because we're next to a river, and we only need to get to Roxas, and then we can fill it up.
Yeah.
And barrels are expensive, Neal.
They are.
All right, you guys will take the barrel with you.
With me.
And no idea
Someone's
how
gonna
many
have to give
120
up their rope to affix the barrel to a horse, because horses don't naturally carry barrels. They don't, they don't stack. So you'll have to tie a barrel to a horse and give it like its own dedicated mount for that. Someone have 50 feet of rope? Anyone?
Thick or thin? What do you want? I have both.
What?
Thick or thin?
It doesn't matter. 50 feet of rope.
Yes, I have that.
Okay, cool. So the rope can be used to affix a barrel to a horse. That leaves you with 3 functioning horses and 5 people. So we'll need 2 more horses for you to ride.
Can some people double up on a horse?
I suppose. Maybe the sisters could double up, or one of the sisters and Sammy. Maya and Sammy could double, I
We
think.
have 4 horses right now, and we have Yassi and Jane. And then I can just summon 2, right? For them too?
Oh, is Jane here as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, she must have been cowering in the wagon the whole time.
Probably for the best.
Yes. So you'll need horses for... There are 6 of you, and you have 3 horses, and 2 of you can double. So there's essentially
We have 4
5 of you and 3 horses. 1 horse has to carry a barrel of water.
Right.
So you'll need 2 horses, Sammy.
Badarius needs 2 horses, one for himself and one for his extra gear. he's not able to carry the gear himself or the horse and the gear.
All right.
Because the gear is 249 pounds. That's too much.
All right, so you need 3 horses, Sammy.
All right, I will summon 3 war horses.
I will, just in case, I will prepare a rope and make like a, what you call it, a lasso out of it. Is that possible? So I could lasso one in case they don't come with anything and start running? For that.
The horses that are summoned have to be summoned for a specific rider. So you will summon them for your people, who will then hop on them, and then you put your gear on the non-summoned horses, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You should be able to get to Roxas today. You can take all of the food, I think, right? Maybe.
120 rations, I have no idea how much that weighs.
240 pounds. So I suppose the rations are in a big sack of some kind, or maybe a box. And
Could you also just put it in the empty barrel?
I suppose the rations could be put in the damp, empty barrel. That'll probably be fine. Yeah.
Oh, God.
And it's attached to the horse. Perfect. Perfect.
So I will summon a war horse for myself, Badarius, and Sarah. And Yassi and Jane can ride the regular horses.
Okay.
And then there's a regular horse carrying blood stuff, I guess. I will also tell people that if they wander too far from their horse, 100 feet, it will magically disappear.
Don't leave your horses behind. Perfect. And off we go. How are you going to get to Roxas? There is at least one river in your way.
Is there a bridge?
Well, you don't know. You haven't been there yet. Maya, you are the guide, I suppose.
Oh dear God! Right. How fast can we move now?
You can probably move a little less fast. You summoned war horses. They have movement speed 18. You guys don't have saddles, so maybe slightly slower, so 15. So you can go 5 hexes today.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
All right, let's stop there for just a moment. You come to a river, more specifically the confluence of 2 rivers. On the upstream side, they are sort of canyony, not very much, but there's like, maybe a 5 or 10 foot cliff that the river cuts through. And if you look up the canyon, you can see it just slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's probably pretty deep canyons up this direction. This one is sort of flattish down here. And over here, it's also sort of flattish, roughly even with the ground. The river is, at this point, maybe, what is that? 40 feet wide or so. And it's going at a, what's the season here? August? Late summer? It's quite low.
Is there any sort of natural ford or anything?
Yeah, downriver a little bit. It looks like there's an area that could be crossable. It widens to maybe 60 feet, which should lower its depth. Why don't you... Who wants to ford it and find out?
I can do it.
I believe...
I think I'm the only one who can swim, so I think I will do it.
All right.
Okay, before we do that, sister, I'm going to tie a rope to you just in case, okay? You remember the octopus last time, yes?
I do remember. I have not forgotten.
Okay, good. Right, yeah. I'm going to just tie a rope to you and just like, brother, hold the other end of this.
Great.
Sammy, hold the other end.
No. You, Darius, hold the other end of the rope.
Yeah, sure.
Sure enough, it is easily fordable. Sarah rides halfway across, maybe 3/4 of the way, and can come right on back. No problems.
All right, then. I guess that's fine. I will take my rope back and follow Sarah back over.
Wonderful. Can I have everybody make me perception checks while you're standing around the ford and waiting for Sarah to cross, and you're all looking around.
It's a crocodile.
Am I also getting one, or am I too focused on the river?
You are focused on the river presently.
35.
That's fair.
How many piranhas bite Sarah's butt?
There are no piranhas and no crocodiles and no sewer monsters here.
Octopuses?
Nope, it's octopus free. Maya, you will notice that there are things in the woods moving around at a pretty good distance, hundreds of yards away, observing.
I'll just give them a little wave and be like, we're just crossing, we're going, nothing, no problem here, no problems here. I think there are elves in the woods, we should go quickly and quietly and not even look at the trees funny.
Sure. You easily cross without any problems.
Mm-hmm. And yes, and then I will head upriver straight, sort of like, we've got 2 more.
Do we need more firewood?
No, brother, because we don't want to get murdered by angry elves, do we?
The sun begins to set before you have reached Roxas.
God damn it.
I guess you guys spend one more night in the wilderness, or are you going to try and push on through the dark?
I'd say actually I would like us to be here, but on this side of the bank.
Right, following the river.
Not in the goddamn, not anywhere close to the woods. No.
Okay, that's fine. You can pass the night.
Like in the few hours before we go to bed, I'm gonna ask see if she can teach me a little bit Drakistian. The basic vocabulary. Hello, good day, 1 beer, please. Things like that.
Sure. Hello is Glutentag.
Glutentag. Okay, I'm gonna write that down, Neal. From now on, every single person gets Glutentag now.
Sure. And goodbye is, da. And what was the other one that you wanted? 1 beer, please?
1 beer, please?
Yeah, sure. It's
Don't reveal anything about the language, please. It's a mystery. It's better as a mystery.
Hefeweizen, Wolfeweizen is 1 beer, please.
I'm crying. 1 beer. I got it, Neal. I got it. 1
Cool.
beer. Lovely.
Perfect.
So what? Can I just put it all together? Good day.
Hefeweizen, da. I guess I missed thank you for that one, but then it would be a complete sentence.
God.
I'm satisfied with our Drakissian language. It's coming along nicely.
Do the Fro people know what their language sounds like?
No.
All right. The next day, you guys can arrive into Roxas. No problems at all. Let's talk about Roxas. Let's see. It is a small town. It almost looks like it's in the distance. Then as you get closer and closer, you're like, wait a minute. It's not a town off in the distance. It's just a tiny town. And sure enough, all the buildings are really short and small, and they come off the ground like 2 or 3 feet, maybe max. And it looks like a town of tiny people all over the place. Yeah.
So I know both Gnomish and Halfling. So which one is it, Neal?
Well, as you cruise on in, you can see halflings and dwarves and half-elves, a few half-elves here or there.
Half-elves.
Right, and some gnomes cruising about, and maybe 1 or 2 humans. It is a fairly mixed race town.
Do the humans all have just like perma bruises?
Just like on their foreheads from walking into everything. People look at you quizzically as you enter, but no one accosts you or arms you or asks for your weapons or anything. You can just kind of plod on into town.
Oh, I like this place already. So, Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one thing that I should note here, I think. There is a large watchtower that kind of sits near the middle, maybe the back of town, and it rises up 30 or 40 feet into the air. Other than that, it's just a town of short buildings that look like maybe they're partially underground.
Do you think somebody's compensating for somebody? Somebody's compensating for something, I say, looking at the tower.
You mean a
No, I
local
think-
wizard?
So I think small people just don't see very far. I think that's probably the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And, you'd probably want to know in advance if a wyvern is attacking your town.
True, true. Oh, yes, we should definitely find out if there's a bounty for, wyverns.
Well, you're attracting all the looks as you roll into town on your horses. One of them strapped with a barrel. I think you have a wyvern head strapped to another horse, maybe, or you're carrying it in your lap or something.
We got it on a hook, like Witcher style.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some dogs bark at you as you come on through. The people just maybe give you a short wave. And once you make it, a third of the way into town, you come across a little inn and tavern here. It's called the Griffin's Roost is the inn, and just across the street from it is the Jolly Drink.
Dueling inns, interesting.
Well, one's a tavern, one's an inn, separate markets. They're gonna nickel and dime you. You can't get room and board at one place. You have to pay for room in one and board at another. No discounts here.
Right, well, I will sort of hop off my horse and be like, shall we see what the local, gossip is, etc., etc.?
Oh, that's what
Good
you did.
idea. I need a drink.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Right.
You step on into the Jolly Drink. It is one of the largest buildings in town. It actually fits you. It's roughly human-sized, built for human-sized creatures. And when you step on in, there are 2 humans there, one behind the bar, one drinking at the bar, and then a smattering of dwarves and halflings with maybe 1 gnome and 1 half-elf.
I was going to say, I will stride up to the bar to be like, good evening. A pint of your finest, whatever the house specialty is, I'd imagine.
Excuse me. The ancient man behind the bar gives you a slow nod, straightens his white hair and kind of tightens the ponytail that it's tucked into, dusts off his tuxedo, looks under the bar, pulls out a large glass bottle with a brownish fluid in it, and pours a little bit of it in a tumbler and slides it across the table to you and says in his ancient voice, "That'll be 5 copper, please."
Certainly, there you go, my good man.
Okay. He taps the coins on the table twice for good luck and puts them in the chest below.
What is it? What the hell am I drinking?
You're drinking whiskey.
Eh.
Did the rest of you come on in?
Am I getting the feeling that this town is too small for all of us?
This town.
That's right. This town is not big enough for the 6 of you.
All right, we've got a wizard. We can make some sparks.
Well, I'm gonna approach the barkeep and I'm gonna say, "Guten Tag, Hefeweizen, Wufeweizen."
He nods and heads over and taps a barrel for you and pours you a tall drink and hands it down and says in Akuban. I guess he says it back in Drakisian.
Right.
Oh, he'll say I don't know. He'll say something to you in Drakisian, and
Right. I look at Yasi, still beaming because I'm so proud of my linguistic skills. I'm like,
and she'll be.
okay. I slide over.
You slide over some money. He scoops in his hands and dumps it in the chest after tapping it on the table again. The rest of you are, I guess, are stumbling in one at a time. And the other human at the bar, like leaning on it, takes a backwards lean and goes, "Who are you all? I ain't seen you before. You're all fancy head to toe."
Well, there's no point in not dressing well, is there? We are the Akuban Knights, roving mercenaries, at your service.
You're some fancy mercenaries. Listen to the way you speak. That accent.
I can't help the way I was raised.
Oh. He goes back to his drink and leans heavily over it.
I'm going to sort of beckon the barkeep over and go, "Another drink for our friend, please."
Mm-hmm. One of the halflings picks up a harmonica-looking instrument, starts to play a few notes, and starts in on a song about the travelers from out of town who bring in a wyvern's head. And you can tell it's being improvised on the spot, and, you know, with the harmonica, you can't really play and sing at the same time, so he'll few notes here, a few words there, a few notes here, a few words there, as he walks in your nearby area.
Interesting.
Barkeep.
Yes?
Let's give us all a round.
He nods,
Up the
and
glasses, and let's get drunk tonight.
he will pour you 6 glasses of whiskey.
How many are in the tavern?
Oh, like 20.
I mean everyone.
He nods again, and will pour
Maybe not
20
the good
glasses of
stuff,
whiskey.
though. Maybe not the good stuff, though.
20 times 5. Chip out 100 copper for the person, for the barkeep. It's a whole gold. And everyone gets a glass of whiskey. A short little fellow, a half-elf, comes out from behind the bar to help bust drinks around. And the halfling continues his song about the great and rich and beautiful and handsome travelers who came in with the wyvern's head. What did they want to do with it? They have not said. And he, kind of continues his story, probing at you for details with questions, like, making up verses about who they might be, but no one knows yet. They haven't told us their names, and here they are.
I'm going to actually sort of motion to the barkeep and just be like, so is there any bounty on the wyverns around here? Just out of curiosity.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We are wyvern-proof in this town.
Oh, well. Worth holding on to anyway. It's a lovely
Certainly.
souvenir, I think.
Certainly.
Can I ask him in common, what is up with that huge watchtower you have?
He does not speak Akuban.
Well, I do speak, what is that? The other common.
Oh, Eridonian common?
Yes.
Oh, yes. He'll speak Eridonian. The watchtower. It keeps watch for Azeron, the blue. Once upon a time, some centuries ago, a nearby wizard came and built the lights along the canyon and the watchtower. Apparently it emits some sort of lizard annoying ray or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it keeps the wyverns and the dragons at bay. I don't get it myself, but it's there, and we haven't had a wyvern or dragon here in living memory.
That's very convenient.
Is there any text on this in town?
I believe there's a plaque on its base.
Fascinating. Well,
No library in town then?
No.
What was the name of the wizard?
The wizard? Yes, his name was... It's not already written down. Yay, I get to make up a name.
Oh god. What's in your room, Neal?
It's going to be great.
Can we call him Bumblebore?
I suppose. I believe he's probably dead now. It was centuries ago. His name was Dave.
Oh my god.
Is there a problem?
No.
Are you
Dave,
familiar
that's such a
with
strange
Dave the
name.
Wizard?
I'm pretty sure I've heard of a Dave the Wizard before, but it must have been in a different life.
I see, yes.
I only know Dave the Dancer. Are they related?
Neal, can I make a archaeology check to see if I know Dave the Wizard?
Please.
27.
Ooh. Non-weapon proficiencies, descriptions, archaeology. The study of the history and development of magic is termed archaeology. You would be familiar with the works of past wizards. Yes. Yeah, so you have heard of Dave the Wizard, and you know he's not actually a wizard. He's Dave the Enchanter. You know, wizard is more of a generalist term. Enchanter is who he was. He was known for his many... keep a straight face, Fuzzy. His many large erections that he would make around the world that were enchanted with various things. He was a great builder, a great constructor.
Oh, I actually heard of this one. Yeah, Enchanter, really. Wizard is such a broad term.
So what did he do exactly?
He made towers. Towers of various things.
Was he compensating for something?
It's not in the books.
You know, I don't know, but you know.
I mean,
Tiny
he's not
bit.
around just building towers. It's just like,
Yeah, with the amount of towers he's built, and they're all to his name.
that's
probably
definitely overcompensating for something.
Yeah. They all do different things, though. You know.
Is he?
We have one in Akuban?
No, he has no erections in Akuba. All right, I'm just gonna have no buildings in Akuba. I thought this was the mature group.
I am a child, Neal. You know this.
You knew what you were doing, Neal. You may look innocent, but we all know you're filth.
You brought us all together for this very reason. To laugh at erection
You just
jokes.
want to bring us here just to talk about your erections.
I'm trying to take away the power of the word and make it back into just it's a large thing that rises up. You know, I'm trying to.
It's not going well, Neal.
We don't need to know. Okay, this is too personal for an RP game, Neal. Really, come on.
Right.
It's a large shaft that rises up in the air.
It's a building, okay? They're buildings, and we should be able to use the word
They're
erection
quite
to refer
slow.
to buildings.
It takes a while to erect a building, so.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
the erection is the building process. It's not necessarily the building itself, Neal. You can just call it a tower. You don't have to keep
but
calling it an erection.
it's fine. They're buildings. We're just gonna go with the word building. My other players
I
would.
mean, at least he's managing to get the building up 100% and not just keep it off.
Yeah. I mean, I saw one that had like a real lean on it. It was just all over to one side.
Well, those Italians, you know, they drink a lot. Can't quite get it straight.
I hear that just having a bit of a curve to it is quite common and nothing to be worried about.
I do think it's problematic to have a curved building. That doesn't work well. Okay.
Sammy, do you think you can find anything out about this? This might be very interesting.
About the Wyvern building?
No. If the wizard can protect the city from the dragon, that would problems would go away.
David's
Brother, we are not stealing a building, okay?
Well, then you need to erect these things. I don't care. Sammy?
His works have been detailed, described, but his methods have not.
Well, you'll just have to experiment with erecting things, though, won't you, Sammy?
Can't you just... Wait, didn't you say
I
something?
can see Neal laughing, just smirking, just...
Can you just summon them from one place to another?
Is this the
Is there
entire
a summon
tower?
erection spell, brother?
There are spells that for creating buildings. Perhaps they
Send me
offer...
Erickson. I think that's a great spell name.
Oh my god.
Summon Sammy's girthy tower?
As you guys are chatting about Dave and his buildings and making jokes in and amongst yourself, in through the door walks the town sheriff. You can tell because she has the 5-pointed star? The 5-pointed star on her lapel. She's a dwarf. She's about 3.5 feet tall, maybe not even. Less than 100 pounds. And looks a little bit old. You know, the heavy wrinkles are set in. She's got a little bit of whiskers coming on the cheeks here and there. She's got a broad-brimmed hat that she wears. Her hair is braided all the way down and tucks into her chainmail armor that she wears. At her side is a battle axe. And behind her are 2 deputies, assistants, guardsmen, something like that. Other dwarves, a male and a female.
I'll give her the tiny salute as she comes in.
Tiny salute.
Yes, I will turn around and nod respectfully. Respectfully. That's not respectably. Well, respectably and respectfully.
All right. She gives you a nod and says in sort of a broken Eridonian, "Hello. Why are you in town?"
Oh, we were attacked by a wyvern, and it destroyed our wagon.
She nods.
We're in search of is anybody selling a wagon here? We're really in need of a replacement wagon.
She nods again.
Ah, marvelous.
Cart maker is down street, she says, pointing up the road.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'll be responding in Dracissian, by the way. Fantastic. Thank you very much. That's very handy of you.
Oh, good. You speak a civilized tongue.
Oh, of course I do. Yes.
Welcome to Roxas.
Thank you.
You're not here to cause any problems, are you?
We are here merely to rest, recuperate after our encounter with the wyvern, and then be on our way. I was quite sad to hear that nobody's offering a bounty on wyvern heads, though.
Don't need it round here. I just want to come in and tell the new folk in town that Roxas has remained a free city by being strict with interlopers. As long as you keep the peace in town, you're welcome.
We want no trouble at all, I assure you.
Good. This is a peaceful place. Should any trouble arise, we'll know exactly who to look for.
I understand entirely.
Oh, sister, I remember the joke. Yes.
No jokes, brother. No. I'm just going to put my hand over his mouth and just like, this is not the time for jokes, brother.
The dwarf looks suspiciously at Maya and says, "I'd like to hear the joke." The joke?
It's a really good one.
Say it, big man.
People laughed always about the joke. So why shouldn't you hire a dwarven chef, huh?
Why?
The stakes are too high.
That's really good. She has a straight, flat face, and then it sort of cracks into a wry smile, and she gives a low chuckle. That's one of the better ones I've heard.
Oh, dear. Right. Okay, that lovely humor. Well done, brother. Good. Well done. Yes. Sorry, he's a little bit, he's
I'm a bit drunk.
Yes, okay. I'm just going to whisper down to her. He's not very bright. So, yes, can we offer a drink since we're here drinking?
She shakes her head. I'm working.
I understand. It would be rude of me not to offer, though.
She grunts and turns and walks out without saying any other words with her deputies.
Please, dear sheriff, just a question.
Oh, God.
We're coming from the north. We heard there is fighting in the south. What is going on in Bridgegate and Gold Hill?
You'd have to go to Bridgegate and Gold Hill to find out.
I thought you might need something. You're closer. I mean, you're the nearest biggest city, right?
What? Gold Hill and Half Hill are much closer to Bridgegate than we are. You should look at a map.
Yes, no. Never mind. I just thought some news might have traveled to Roxas, but
Well, war, armies, dragons, horses, fighting, dying, sieges, battles, magic.
Magic?
Mm-hmm. Magic.
well,
That's
time
about
for
all I
another
know. Okay. Anything else you guys want to do in town? You can go get a wagon if you'd like. You can buy a fresh one.
I also want to look at the tower.
Sure. Why don't we head on over to the tower? It is quite large. It is made out of sort of almost like boulders stuck together. It's not like nice cut stones that are carefully arranged. It looks like someone threw a bunch of boulders together and they just like stacked up and made a tower. It would be quite easy to climb. It doesn't
But
look
you
to
can't
have.
walk inside. It's like solid, right?
Yeah, there are no apparent doors around the base, no windows anywhere. The top is maybe a little bit more constructed with an actual parapet up there. Yeah.
So I would like
Where do
to
you-
snort some detect magic.
Where do you think he put the magic in? Probably at the top, right? Otherwise he wouldn't build it that high.
I don't know. It's noted that it's enchanted the tower. It's either like something on top or the tower itself. But yes, I would like to snort some detect magic, Neal.
You can snort some detect magic and gaze upon the tower.
And where is the magic most prominent? Is it along the shaft or the tip?
At the tip. The very top of the tower is where there's the most magical sensitivity.
Don't shake your head. You did that on purpose, Neal.
He was asking for it. He knew it.
You've broken Sammy. You've broken Sammy. Look, he's gone. That's it. We've lost him for at least 10 minutes. Look, the glasses are coming off. Oh my God, he's crying. He's crying.
All right.
Look what you've done, Neal. Look what you've done.
All right. Okay.
Very weird change.
Let's get out of this town as quickly as possible. The magic.
I want to ask more about the shaft.
It's rocky. All right. It's like a bunch of boulders.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's ridged.
Is there anything else you guys need in this town?
No, just a cart.
Okay, you can go to the wagon vendor. In fact, he's having a special. One wagon for the price of 3/4 of a wagon if you buy it today and leave town right away.
You really want to get us away from your shaft, don't you, Neal?
25% off if you can leave immediately. Yeah, you can buy a covered wagon for, instead of 6,000 times 0.75, you can buy it for 4,500.
I'm fine. I'm covered.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
That was just my temporary detect magic blindness, you know, that comes
Right.
afterward.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, did you want to buy that wagon for 4,500 and get
Who's
the hell
doing
out of
the
town?
money?
Bud is doing the money.
Yes.
Bud, buy us a
Yes.
wagon.
I already
Get us away
did.
from
It's
this
already
place.
subtracted.
Excellent. And you guys take off, right?
Yeah, at speed.
Wonderful. How would you like to progress?
Without looking backwards at all.
Fantastic.
I'd like to spend the rest of my journey in the wagon
Sure.
so I can learn some spells.
Sure. Maya, you get to drive the wagon, I suppose.
Okay, so
Where are you guys going?
So I'm going from here and then there and then oh god, and then I.
All right, let's stop right about there. You have entered the edge of the Draken Wastes. It is a barren, baked ground. It's just cracked earth pretty much as far as you can see, with no plant life of any kind all the way to the horizon. It looks flat, but bumpy, maybe somewhat difficult terrain here and there, and certainly no signs of water or food. Do you guys have...
Do we... excuse me. Do we have fodder for the horses?
No.
In that case, we might need to stray into the edge of the forest just to find fodder for the horses.
And water for yourselves. Because your water barrel is now filled with food.
Wait, what? Whose idea was that?
Yours.
That wasn't my idea.
It
That was my idea. I just figured our quartermaster would refill it with water when we had a hard again.
We wanted to refill
Okay.
it.
Sure. Okay, you've dumped your food out into the wagon and filled the barrel. So you do have water, but you will need horse food, and you will certainly will not find any in this barren wasteland.
Okay, so how many more Sorry?
Along the forest is really, I guess, the better choice considering what we encountered, right?
Angry elves versus angry...
I mean, to be fair, people think elves are angry because many people are racist and not too many people have actually been in touch with them because people generally avoid them because everybody gets told the same story. Elves are terrible. We could try and figure it out by ourselves to confirm and then just never go near a forest ever again, I think.
Well, we're going to need to sort of like at least camp in the forest at night so the horses can eat. So, yeah.
So you have gone 7 out of 24, which leaves you with 16. 17.
So
17.
Four squares, basically?
Sure.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then we stop there for the night.
Halfway in between?
Yeah, well, in the outskirts of the forest where there's going to be
Right.
some grass, yeah.
Okay, so you trudge across the Draken Wastes for the day. It is miserable. The sun beats down on you, and the ground seems to just absorb it and radiate it all around you. The temperature rises well above... I guess you're from Akuban. You're used to hot temperatures, so maybe it's not that unpleasant, but it is sort of just...
Her scarf wrapped all the way around her and things.
It is just desolate terrain. There are no encounters with anything whatsoever until you come to your campsite at the edge of the forest where there's grass that your horses eagerly go after. In fact, I think you're going to have to spend some... Ooh, you moved. Some time...
Wait, what?
I don't know. The thingy moved.
I didn't do that.
Who moved it?
I didn't.
All right, close enough.
Quick question, Neal. In the Draken Waste, in the art, there are just some lines. Can I assume these are dried up riverbeds from the past, or as what?
No, that's going to be the earth itself cracks open a little bit more. You probably have known about this as an educated man, that, you know, it starts as just sort of cracked ground here and there, but by the time you get to the middle of the Draken Waste, these cracks are, you know, tens of feet wide, if not bigger, and actually form like a crisscrossing canyon system that is of sheer walls that plunge hundreds of feet down. It's
And then a giant
maze-like.
worm comes out and eats you alive. The end.
Quite possibly. Yeah, it's a maze to navigate from within.
Okay.
And dangerous from atop. Yeah, you can settle down here. Can I get perception checks from the party again?
Mm-hmm.
18, 20, 18.
Oh, wait, what are we? Oh, perception, sorry.
Perception. Yeah, that's okay.
In ambush by
23.
elves.
Yeah, all right. You settle down to sleep. After someone waters and rests the horse and feeds them and everything.
I'm also going to plait my horse's mane and tail.
Oh. Okay. Oh, this is my notebook. Lovely. So you guys were in Roxas today. You can keep going. Next day. Go for it.
Cool.
Yeah, 24 movements.
So 20. We got 21 movement, right?
24.
24.
All right. So I can go 6 spaces, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we
Okay. Lovely. And next day, no problems.
go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, we're gonna stop right around there. Square number 4. Perfect. So you have headed out pretty deep into the Draken Waste here, and you come across your first great chasm. As you're just cruising along, and you notice in front and to the right is this sort of gap. It's a bit of a curiosity, so someone goes a little closer to take a look down, and sure enough, it's like a 50-foot sheer cliff down to what looks to be a path below. Who is investigating this?
I will probably end up doing the scouting, right?
Lovely. Can you give me a perception check as you gaze down into the shadowy crevasse?
30.
Oh, you see something moving down there. It looks like a very large snake, maybe 30 feet long or so, maybe, 2 or 3 feet across, slithering down close to one of the edges. Minding its own business, not looking at you in any way, shape, or form, but a very large snake.
I will turn around and be like, I think we need to take a detour right around this because there's a giant worm or snake or something down there, and we don't want to mess with that, do we? No.
Okay. Keep going then. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you get 2 more.
6. There we go.
Lovely. Okay. Another day passes uneventfully, except for the giant snake. You are getting fairly close to Half Hill and Gold Hill and Bridgegate and the end of all of this stuff. So give me another initiative, another day of movement.
Okay.
I'm so used to saying.
That's right.
Where do we want to go to, by the way? Do we want to go straight to Bridgegate or 5, 6?
Ooh. Okay. You have made it to the road. You can find some burned out collections of stones that represent former campsites people have may have been at. The road itself is just hard packed earth and, so tightly packed that it makes it nice and easy to walk along. There's little bits of grass and wildflowers on the side. There's a whole collection of sunflowers spurting up from somewhere where once upon a time someone probably sat and ate a bag of sunflower seeds. But it's quite nice here, and you see no one along the road in either direction.
Lovely.
What a nice place to make camp.
He said.
Yeah. Why don't we take a break here? Because there's absolutely nothing happening right now whatsoever. It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
We should just take a break. We'll see you on the other side of it. Bye.